All right, let's continue our coverage of this Gaetz saga with political analyst Brian Sobel. He joins me. Brian, good to see you as always. This is a slow news day. My goodness, going on here, Brian. What happened to recess appointments? That's my big question today. There was so much discussion about the possibility that they would bypass the Senate and use these so-called recess appointments in order to get people like Gaetz confirmed. What happened to that idea?
I believe that there was a lot of behind-the-scenes pushback by Republicans saying, hey, we're not going to bypass the Senate's privilege of interviewing people for these high positions in government. And people registered their concerns, including perhaps the majority speaker behind the scenes as well, saying, hey, there is going to be a process, and we really don't want to see it go to the recess appointments. We want to see it go down traditional lines.
Before we get more into Gaetz and his political future, I want to ask you about the person who has been selected, who has been tapped as Trump's new AG selection. What do we need to know about Pam Bondi?
Well, the Attorney General of Florida, and has a reputation for chasing drug dealers, lawbreakers. She's very tough on crime. People in Florida really like her very much. And it seems to me that she probably should have been the first appointee by Trump for that position if she was going to be in the selection process at all.
So let's talk about Gaetz's future here. He resigned from Congress for this term, Brian. But does that mean that he's done with politics?
No, he could run again, and he would not enjoy the little bit of seniority that he would have from being elected first and back in 2017-16. So he would lose some his spot in the House of Representatives, his seniority. What little of it there is, but he can run again, and I just don't know that he will. These charges against him, which really derailed his Attorney General appointment, are very serious, and obviously, and so I'm not sure that he wants to undergo the scrutiny that will now be set aside if he just goes back into the private sector.
Have you been hearing the same conversations I have about the possibility of throwing his name in into the ring of possibilities for Senator Marco Rubio's seat? Rubio is going to become Secretary of State. That leaves a Senate seat open in Florida. Could Gaetz go for that?
He could, and I've heard the same rumor from the East Coast that that's a possibility, but he is going to have to really answer to the people of Florida about the whole situation that he has found himself in, and then throw his fate into the hands of the electorate. A lot of times when this stuff happens, it doesn't matter whether you're a really popular candidate or not. If there are other candidates in the mix that are better choices in terms of not having this baggage, that's where voters are oftentimes going to go.
You already touched on this. I think I'm going to know your answer, but does it feel like Bondi has a better chance of making it through?
Oh, absolutely. She has a record as an attorney general. You heard her in that package talking about being a prosecutor for 18 years, and she fits very well with the Trump agenda to take on crime, take on the fentanyl crisis, take on the cartels, all of these things she's had some experience with, and I think she is going to do very well in the hearings, one would suspect, unless there's more about her that we don't know. But she's been in office for a while, and people know who she is.
Well, how many more high-profile positions are there left to fill, Brian? I think the Secretary of Treasury comes to mind. Any other big ones you think of?
No, it's coming down to the bottom line here. I thought the question you were going to ask is how many more profile people, high profile people, may not survive the confirmation
Oh,
process. And if the confirmation process is typical of what they are, all of these people who have been selected are going to face very tough questions. I mean, Tulsi Gabbard is going to face very, very tough questions about how she feels about national security, about Vladimir Putin, the Russia. She's got a whole host of questions she's going to have to deal with. Same with the selection for Secretary of Defense. He's got a bit of a scandal going in his background, but he's going to be asked very tough questions. All of these people, and it should be this way, all of these selectees have to go before the Senate and answer very tough questions and then stand for a vote. And that's the way it is.
and if we could read between the lines in any way here, Matt Gaetz seemed to have sniffed out the situation and determined that it was best for him to withdraw. We haven't heard that Hegseth or Tulsi Gabbard will be doing such a thing. So, can we surmise from that, perhaps, that they have heard that they have a better shot of making it?
Probably, but they what happens is that these people are the nominees, and then they go on the Hill and they go and visit all these senators, and they get a read on where these senators are. And sometimes, and I've had senators say to me over the years, person came in, I listened to him, I said, I can't support you. And the meeting went just like that. I'm not going to support you. And off they go. The question is, do you have enough votes? And that's going to be what they're going to go on the Hill and try to find out. But it's a very labor intensive process because you need to meet with almost all the senators or anybody who will take a meeting, and just envision taking that many meetings and essentially selling yourself over and over and over again. It's a rigorous process.
All right, Brian, good to see you. Talk soon.
Good to see you.